Did you ever wonder how to build an emergency campfire if your car breaks down or you're out camping? Start by finding a flat surface to build on. If you're out camping and you're at a campsite, use the existing fire pit if there is one. Otherwise, clear out a space. And remember, most of the time, you're going to want a small fire and not build a big bonfire. Next, we got to gather our materials. Most parks where you're going to be camping at, they're going to require you to either bring your own firewood or buy it at the park. Though check with the park ranger, they may actually allow you to go forage down wood. We never want to cut down a tree. Now, if we're in an emergency situation and you really, like, for example, your car broke down or you're out hiking and you twisted an ankle and you've got to make camp for a night and it's getting cold and you need a fire to stay warm, go ahead, fetch it around you. Again, if you're just out camping, check the rules, follow the rules, but in an emergency survival situation, we got to do what we got to do to get our fire going. So we start building our fire. You're going to start off with your tinder, or sometimes we'll call it a fire starter. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to look for small sticks, twigs, we're going to use for kindling. And then we're going to use larger pieces of wood as our fuel for our fire. The fuel wood should be no wider than your forearm or or you can think of a paperback book. For the newer generation who doesn't know what a paperback book is, the size of your cell phone. I always recommend carrying tinder or fire starters with you. There's a lot of different strategies around how we want to make our fire starters or what we want to use for our fire starters. For a long time, I used to recommend soaking cotton balls in petroleum jelly like Vaseline. But now I prefer these fire cubes from Duraflame. They're cheap, they're small, they're lightweight, they're reliable, and they're just a lot less messy than those cotton balls. And they're going to produce a nice flame to get your fire started that'll last about 7 minutes. And from the best of my knowledge, they're actually 100% organic. I believe what they are, they're compressed fat wood. Speaking of fat wood, you can carry some fat wood sticks with you as well. Fat wood is the slang term for wood that we make from the stumps of dead pine trees, and they're full of oil. I prefer to build my fires using what's called the log cabin build. You may also be familiar with like the teepee fire. I find that log cabins are easy to build and they last a long time. And we will start by putting the kindling down. Then we'll add our fuel wood on top of the kindling. Now, if you've watched this far and you've learned at least one thing, please hit that like button. All right, now we have our fire pit ready. We've got our kindling, we've got our fuel wood. We're ready to light this fire. Always make sure you're carrying at least 2 different ways to light a fire. You could use a Bic lighter, you can use an electric lighter, you can use waterproof matches, or of course, whenever we talk about survival, everyone likes to think about the ferro rod. I do my best to make sure I have I bring 3 ways: a lighter, matches, and a ferro rod. Thank you for watching, and again, if you learned at least one new thing in this video, please smash that like button.